Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to this deep dive where we take a stack of information and really pull out the key bits that matter for you. Today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating, actually. The world of software localization. Specifically, we've got a collection of technical documents, translations, all about adapting the osFinancial TurboCASH accounting software for Arabic-speaking users. Now, for you, the learner, this might sound, well, very specific, maybe a bit technical. We're looking at PDFs, articles about accounting in Jordan, translation files. But our mission is pretty straightforward, to give you the essential insights into what it really takes to make complex software, like accounting software, work properly in a whole new language and cultural context. Think of it like understanding the bigger picture of adapting technology. Everything from the techie foundations to the language nuances and regional differences.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, is that it's not just translating words, right? It's where the software itself meets the complexities of the Arabic language, which is, quite different from English in some fundamental ways. And then there's the real-world application of accounting in the Arab world. Our sources have a particular focus on Jordan.
Exactly. So let's kick off with maybe the most fundamental shift.
Yeah.
Moving from English, written left to right, to Arabic, which goes right to left. What are the immediate, technical hurdles there?
Well, the biggest one is the entire direction of the user interface. It has to flip. Imagine, like a mirror image, everything. Menus, buttons, how text flows when you type. So instead of appearing left to right, your words start on the right and move leftward.
Wow, okay.
So you need full right-to-left alignment. Even punctuation, the Arabic comma, question mark, semicolon, they all have their proper place relative to the RTL text flow. And something as simple as where a line breaks, sometimes marked with % in config files, that needs careful handling too, so it reads naturally. Often this whole RTL thing is controlled by a master switch, basically. Something like right to left, yes, in a configuration file.
That paints a really clear picture. It's not just the letters, it's the whole visual feel of using the software. Now, what about the actual characters? Computers use codes, right? Is that different for Arabic?
Absolutely. Think of it like different digital alphabets the computer uses. For Arabic, the documents really stress using language code page 1256. That tells the software which codes map to the Arabic letters. And for how they look on screen, the font, the recommended one, is Tahoma. That's usually set with something like dialog font name Tahoma. Now, a really common pitfall is accidentally mixing encodings, like UTF-8 and ANSI. Imagine trying to read using the wrong alphabet codes. It just looks like garbled nonsense. Copy-pasting from websites or even Word sometimes brings in hidden formatting or, incompatible codes. That's often why you see that jumbled text. So sticking to the specified encoding, like 1256 consistently, that's really crucial.
So making sure the software and the computer are speaking the same language, code-wise. What about storage? How the software keeps all that Arabic text organized in its database. Does that need special handling too?
Yes, it does, especially with MS SQL databases. Think of the database like a huge filing cabinet. For Arabic text to be stored, found, and sorted correctly, you need to adjust its filing rules. These rules are called collation settings. The example given is changing from something like Latin General CPICS, which is for Latin languages, to Arabicius. This tells the database how to alphabetize and compare Arabic correctly.
Yeah, okay.
If you don't set that right, you might see, say, your customer list in a weird order, or maybe searches won't work properly.
Right, makes sense. Okay, so we've got direction, character codes, fonts, database rules. What about the actual words, translating all the labels and messages in the software?
Yeah, and this is where technical accuracy is absolutely key. You can't just do a literal word-for-word translation. It wouldn't make sense in context. The documents give some great examples, like setup for installing software is consistently, you'll see directory, computer folder becomes ENO, which is standard IT Arabic. And a file is A. Using these technical terms consistently is vital, so users aren't confused by different words meaning the same thing in different places.
That makes total sense. Consistency is key for users learning the ropes. Now, I saw a brief mention of dynamic SQL errors with Firebird databases. That sounds a bit more under the hood.
It is, yeah. A bit more technical. The notes mention that in older versions, specifically osFinancials 5.1 or TurboCASH H5.1 using Firebird, a specific error, dynamic SQL error, NASH 303, can pop up sometimes. It seems linked to how the software talks to certain tables in the database. The main takeaway is that it's a known issue in those specific older setups, and there are probably fixes or workarounds if you run into it.
Okay, so something to be aware of if you're on those older systems. And lastly, on translation itself, It looks like some work is still ongoing.
That's right. The docs indicate there are still some labels, some phrases in the main Arabic.dfm language file, and also in some plugins, add-on features that haven't been fully translated yet. They mention these are tracked on GitHub, which is where developers collaborate. It shows there's an active community still refining the Arabic version. So while a lot's done, maybe newer features or less common bits might still show up in English.
Okay, that gives us a really solid grounding in the core language and tech stuff. Now here's where it gets really interesting, I think. We've talked about making it display Arabic correctly. But what about the bigger challenges? Making it truly local for Arabic speakers.
Yeah.
What are some of the solutions?
Well, one really significant area is terminology, especially around things like taxes. The notes explain that even for something common like V8 value added tax, the Arabic term esolora elozu is understood, sure. But the exact terms, how V8ing works, can differ quite a bit between Arabic-speaking countries. Different laws, different practices.
Right.
So the recommendation is to use modern standard Arabic MSA, the more universal form, as a starting point. But crucially, recognize you might need to adapt terms for specific countries. One way to manage that is offering different language packs, or maybe even region-specific versions of the software.
That makes perfect sense. Just like legal jargon varies in English. Same idea. What about something seemingly simple like numbers?
Yeah, even numbers aren't always simple. The documents point out that company registration numbers can vary. Some are just digits, like the Saudi example, 12345678890. But others, like in Morocco, might mix letters and numbers, like 123458812. And another thing you often see Western numerals, R123, converted to Eastern Arabic numerals. ASCEN Arabic interfaces or documents, the key thing is consistency. How numbers look in reports, official documents generated by the software needs to be consistent.
So the underlying value is the same 123, but the visual representation might change depending on context or expectations. What about dates and other formatted info?
Yeah, testing how dates and numbers show up in reports. That needs to happen early for Arabic users. The software's default formats might not match what's standard in Arabic regions. So you might need to specifically pick Arabic number formats in the settings or adjust things generally. So dates, times, currency look right to an Arabic user.
It sounds like the computer's own settings, the Windows settings play a big part too.
Oh, absolutely. For the software to play nice with Arabic, the system locale in Windows needs to be set to an Arabic region, like Egypt or Saudi Arabia. If you're mixing languages on one machine, say English Windows, but using Arabic software, it's really important the software's internal settings align with Windows regional formats. But there's a word of caution in the notes. Changing your whole system locale can sometimes mess with other apps. So always a good idea to back up your important data before you do that.
Definitely a good safety tip. And if someone does hit that problem, seeing garbled Arabic text, what are the quick fixes?
The docs suggest a few things to try. First, double-check that system locale is definitely set to Arabic. Second, try reinstalling the Arabic language fonts. Sometimes they get corrupted or weren't installed right in the first place. And third, sometimes running the software as an administrator, giving it higher permissions, can help it access and display fonts correctly.
Useful, practical steps. Now, I noticed this placeholder thing at APPNAME at Susio. What's that about?
Yeah, that's quite clever, actually. It's how the developers handle branding in the translations. Think of APPNE as just a blank space. The software automatically fills it in with its actual name, either osFinancials or TurboCASH, depending on which one you're running. It simplifies things massively for translators. They don't need to type the product name over and over.
Like a mail merge tag almost.
Exactly. The system just slots the name in, saves a lot of repetitive typing and potential errors.
Very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
What about any other special characters or formatting specific to RTL?
Yes, there are some special Unicode characters mentioned. LRE, RLO, RLO, PDF, NADS. These are basically directional controls. They help manage situations where you have mixed text on one line, like Arabic and English together. But a really important point they make, things like email addresses and website URLs, they must stay in Latin script, left to right. Forcing them RTL would just break them. They wouldn't work.
Right, critical for usability. Okay, we've covered a lot of the technical and linguistic mechanics. Let's shift to the accounting concepts themselves. What are some core accounting terms a user would see in this localized software and their Arabic translations?
Yeah, this is where it gets really practical. The documents have a great list of essential terms with their standard MSA translations. For instance, accounts receivable is iziubietejo, inventory is isioshi, payroll expenses becomes isiioshisio, and professional fees is isishuiyoshi. The list even includes related concepts like inventory management being
That's incredibly helpful. Seeing those core ideas side by side, it really bridges that gap if you're working with accounting in Arabic. And it goes deeper than just the main terms, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It drills down into specific inventory types, like raw materials, finished goods, even basic units of measure like each and hours. And importantly, tax stuff too. VAT number, ABIT number, sales tax, ASU.
This is turning into a really valuable mini glossary. What about the everyday actions? The buttons, menus, things you click constantly?
The list is pretty exhaustive there too. Common UI things like save, cancel, print, edit, delete, all translated. Even formatting options like left alignment, and right alignment. It shows the level of detail needed to make the whole experience feel native for an Arabic speaker. It's like building a whole interaction vocabulary.
It really is. What about specific accounting tasks, like using journals for recording transactions?
Yep, journal names are covered. Sales journal is etisudo, often shortened to A. Purchase journal is etisudo, or etis. General journal is isutosuet etisim, abbreviated D. There's even a discussion about translating cost of sale journal, batch, suggesting both longer and shorter versions, probably thinking about screen space.
Ah, character limits. Another practical constraint in UI translation. What about system messages, the pop-ups that guide you or warn you?
Crucial for usability, absolutely. Things like data saved. Please say because it's saved. Are there. Error messages too, like error, no account found. Whatis? And even more specific, helpful alerts like this item is out of stock, auto-adjusting quantity.
Giving soti so ese persono. They give context.
The detail here is genuinely impressive. It covers basics right through to specific system interactions. What about more advanced features? The translations seem to cover a really wide range. Things like importing bank data, POS or point-of-sale functions, email features within the app, managing subscriptions, customizing document layouts, report generation, even database connections. It really shows a comprehensive effort to make pretty much every corner of the software accessible in Arabic.
And of course, budgeting and financial reports, core accounting functions. How are those handled?
The docs actually show a sample budget entry template designed for both Arabic and English use. Key terms for financial periods are translated. Months, multi-year, AA, quarterly, 48, even complex actions like consolidate closed years gets translated to AACA, ACA, ASA. It shows how the accounting logic is being mapped linguistically.
It's clear a lot of thought went into making sure the accounting principles in the Arabic language mesh properly. I even see examples related to customer and supplier accounts like payment reminders.
Exactly. There are examples of friendly payment reminders, even early payment incentives translated into Arabic, shows an understanding of business communication styles. And you see dummy account info examples too, with Arabic and English addresses, contact details, VAT numbers, commercial registration numbers. It demonstrates how that kind of mixed data would be displayed.
Now, reports. There's such a critical output.
Yeah.
Any special considerations for designing reports in an RTL environment?
Report layout for RTL needs careful thought, yeah. It's more than just flipping text. The documents stress setting the report language in alignment to RTL within the reporting tool itself. They recommend Arabic-friendly fonts, Arial, Times New Roman Tahoma, to make sure text displays right. And for ReportMan, mentioned as the reporting engine, there are specific steps to set it up in RTL mode.
So not just the words, but the whole page structure needs rethinking.
Precisely. Headers and footers need adapting. Company name address might go on the right in the header. Footers usually have things like the data path, user info, batch numbers. Interestingly, the recommendation often seems to be using Western numerals or 1, 2, 3 for quantities, money amounts, page numbers in the main report body.
Ah, okay. Why is that?
Often for clarity and because those number formats are pretty universally understood, even within Arabic reports, it's a practical choice.
Makes sense. A pragmatic way to ensure key numbers are easy to read. What about addresses and other formatted text in reports?
The docs touch on postal codes and address formats, noting variation across countries. Some use 5 digits, others have different systems or none. They also really emphasize using UTF-8 encoding for the report files themselves. That ensures all the Arabic characters show up correctly when the report's generated or shared. And testing reports with real RTL data, absolutely crucial, to catch any issues with text flow or mixed Arabic-English text.
And finally, you mentioned some sources were specifically about accounting in Jordan. How does that regional focus fit into the broader localization picture?
Well, those links about accounting education in Jordan, the financial reporting framework there, the tax rates, they highlight why knowing the specific regional context is so vital, especially if your target user is Jordanian. While MSA provides the language base, being aware of local accounting practices, specific regulations, the accepted terminology in Jordan makes the localized software truly effective and useful. It means the software isn't just speaking Arabic, it's speaking the language of Jordanian accounting, specifically.
Here's where it gets really interesting. You've just walked us through this incredibly detailed, intricate process of adapting complex software for a totally different language and culture.
What's fascinating here is just how interconnected it all is, isn't it? You can't just focus on the words. You have to think about the text direction, the character codes, the database collation, the regional accounting terms, even the visual layout of reports. It's a truly holistic effort.
And for you, the learner, hopefully this deep dive gives you a real appreciation for all the thought and work that goes into making tech genuinely accessible globally. This whole process isn't just about changing screen language. It's about making the software intuitive, user-friendly for Arabic speakers, which, ultimately simplifies complex tasks like accounting and helps cut down errors from language barriers.
And those aha moments you might look for. Maybe it's realizing you need to tweak something as fundamental as database sorting rules for Arabic. Or maybe it's the subtle but really important differences in tax terms that depend entirely on the specific country you're dealing with.
And hopefully by breaking it down like this, you got a good handle on the complexities without feeling, totally swamped by all the details involved in software localization.
Which actually raises an important question, I think. Considering how fast software evolves, and regional standards change too, how absolutely essential do you think ongoing localization work and really listening to user feedback are for making sure financial tools stay effective and relevant in our, increasingly globalized world?
So what does this all mean for you? Hopefully, a much clearer understanding of the often invisible but absolutely vital work that goes into making technology truly accessible for everyone, whatever language they speak. Thanks for diving deep with us.